Greetings, President Ross, members of the board, Superintendent Andrade, executive team, and community members. It is a pleasure to address you to speak about Commitment 9 in our strategic plan and provide you with a brief financial overview of our override and bonds. The focus of Commitment 9 is around district effectiveness, efficiency, and service. This presentation focuses on strategies 1, 2, 4, and 5. I will address ensuring our short and long-term financial stability through the passage and management of bonds and overrides. Later in this presentation, you will see steps we've taken as a district to provide first-class technology for learning and working environments, as well as first-class facilities for our students, staff, and community. Arizona is ranked 49th in the nation in per-pupil spending, according to the latest census data. We recognize that we are drastically underfunded, which leads us to pursue other voter-authorized funding sources through budget overrides and bonds. We've been fortunate to receive taxpayer support through the passage of these elections in the past. As you know, we are currently seeking the passage of a bond election in November. Furthermore, ARS 15-481 and 491 requires each district that increases its budget pursuant overrides and bonds to hold a public meeting each year between September 1st and October 31st to provide an update of the programs or capital improvements financed through these measures. The remainder of my presentation will focus on providing these financial updates. The Maintenance and Operations Budget Override fluctuates annually based on 15% of the revenue control limit. The categories are listed on this slide to include retaining and attracting qualified educators, athletic programs, student services, and counseling, as well as safety and security. The M&O override amount is approximately $31 million for both fiscal year 23 and fiscal year 24. Nearly 90% of the district additional assistance override or capital override can only be used for non-administrative services, or in other words, only for student use. Unspent balances roll over from year to year, providing us a budget balance of just over $32 million for fiscal year 24. The annual allocation is approximately $15 million. The 2017 bond has a $269 million authorization, and the final bond sale was completed in fiscal year 21. $236 million is allocated for non-administrative purposes, again for student use. We've expensed approximately $151 million, leaving a balance of $84 million. $33 million of the 2017 bond is authorized for administrative purposes. Nearly $27 million has been spent, leaving a balance of just over $6 million. The total amount spent of the $269 million authorization is $178 million, leaving a balance of about $90 million. Next, we will provide more details regarding the way these funds have been spent. Thank you.
The next portion of this video will share with you a few highlights of the amazing updates we have been able to make in our campus and district facilities with the investments our voters approved in our current bond. This by no means is an exhaustive list, but instead a representation of the types of infrastructure and maintenance issues we have been able to address during the 2022-2023 school year, as well as investments in the student learning environment to align with today's learning modalities, technology, and student needs. When finalizing our plan to complete work in a given school year, we work to balance the types of projects we do across 4 overarching areas: infrastructure and maintenance repairs, replacement and upgrades, district-wide student needs, campus-specific requests, and technology. Let's first take a look at areas of district-wide student needs that we were able to focus our attention on this past school year. Performing arts centers, also known as our auditoriums, continue to receive much-needed updates across the district. Performing Arts Centers serve as an important gathering space for assemblies, performances, and meetings. These upgrades included back-of-the-house technology, seating and flooring, signage, lobbies, and restrooms. Sports are a primary avenue for our students to get engaged, and students that are more connected to campuses graduate at higher rates. This past school year, we worked across the district on our athletic facilities needing the most attention, including but not limited to repairing basketball courts, tracks and fields, sanding and finishing gymnasium floors, and updating concession stands and bleachers. Because of the constant wear and tear, athletics is also a common request from our campuses as projects of their choosing, which we will refer to later. Furniture often sets the tone for the look, feel, and use of a space. Our students want a warm, welcoming environment in which to learn. While we have future plans and a proposed new bond to work on a district-wide furniture refresh for all classrooms, this past year, we were able to upgrade furniture in several cafeterias and common spaces frequently used by our students in the community, as well as some of our classrooms that were either most in need of upgrades or had programmatic changes to the space based on student demand. Now, let's move to the projects that were more focused on safety, infrastructure, maintenance, and repairs. In Phoenix Union, safety is our top priority, and we continue to invest in best practices that protect our students, staff, and community. During the 2022-2023 school year, safety projects included creating safer entrances and perimeters for our campuses via lobby renovations, fencing, and secure doors. Additionally, we repaired asphalt and concrete throughout the district, an item not often thought of from a safety perspective, but something that is critical for our foot and vehicle traffic across campuses. Infrastructure, maintenance, and repair is by far one of the largest demands of our bond and override dollars. Phoenix Union has amazing campuses that have aged significantly over time, and our bond and override dollars never seem to stretch far enough to cover the need. This year, we updated several restrooms at various campuses, completed HVAC repairs district-wide as planned and/or as needed, and refreshed painting and flooring across the district, as these two building systems get lots of wear and tear from daily student and staff traffic. All of the projects shared to this point were selected based on district-wide assessments that established common themes of what was most pressing. Because some campuses have more need than others, it is important that we also balance our approach with projects our campuses choose with input from their site. Projects varied widely from campus to campus and included athletic upgrades, new signage, furniture, shade structures, turf, and everything in between. The most frequently requested projects were classroom renovations based on the student interest for different academic programs. Most popular amongst these are CTE classrooms such as engineering, construction, medical programs, business, and media-related careers, to name a few. Campuses were excited to identify and invest in these projects that are near and dear to their students, staff, and community. Voters approved funds for work on our district offices. Phoenix Union district offices rarely receive investment in upgrades as our primary focus is on our school campuses. However, in this bond, we have finally been able to fix code compliance issues and renovate our district office buildings, both Center for Educational Excellence and our district support facility. This past year saw the continuation of the updates to CEE, a project that is nearing completion, and the demolition of old and small buildings at our DSF campus, which are being replaced with a more functional multi-story building to meet students' transportation, maintenance, and technology needs. Let's finally turn our attention to the technology and transportation needs of our students. We all know that technology is ever-changing at a rapid pace, and the field of education is working tirelessly to catch up and keep up. Bond and override dollars during the 2022-2023 school year were spent to upgrade our technology infrastructure, making sure we have the capacity to support our students and staff that can have anywhere from 3 to 5 devices connected to our infrastructure at a given time. We continue to support one-to-one devices for all students to have a laptop, in addition to updating teacher and staff devices to manage the learning and work environment. As curriculum changes and project-based learning becomes more popular, and more of the tools that students work with in the classroom have moved to something that is technology-based, we have worked closely with teachers and experts to update both general and program-specific classroom technology to support academic programs. In terms of transportation, this past year we replaced old buses and a few district vehicles that were ready for retirement with new buses and vehicles, ensuring that they remained energy efficient. We work with a few campuses to provide or replace mini buses and vans to support field trips, sports, and athletics, and we continue to focus on expanding our electric fleet of buses into the future. That concludes our overview of projects from the 2022-2023 school year. The work moves forward with a continued focus on maintenance repairs such as HVAC and roofing, completing auditorium renovations district-wide, and refreshing our cafeteria furniture and outside furniture to make these spaces more inviting for our students. We would not be able to do this work without voter-approved capital bond and override dollars. Our facilities are aging, and we need to modernize our spaces to create effective and inviting learning environments by today's student standards. And we would like to continue to invest in sustainability efforts to be good stewards of resources in our community. Phoenix Union has over $1 billion in facilities need. We are proposing a $475 million bond to voters this fall. Projects in this proposed new bond include a redesign of Metrotech High School and Phoenix Digital Academy, preventative maintenance projects and replacement cycles on building systems, technology and transportation, continued work on athletics and auditorium upgrades, investments in classroom design and renovation including CTE, furniture, classroom technology, and continued one-to-one student devices. And as always, we will work with our campuses to raise up those projects that are most important to their community. This concludes our annual presentation on capital bonds and overrides. Thank you, Phoenix Union community.